let's touch on the Gurkha rights and your contribution, is obviously. But before that, I would just want to point out to the viewers that there is a ongoing discussion with the government, and obviously there's a protest and an injustice that's been gone with Gurkhas, or the veteran Gurkhas. And I had a podcast with Gyan as well, and he explained all the hardship that they have faced since 1997. So it's been almost 25 years, and they're still fighting for their rights. Yeah. How long does it take for one to figure out that there's a common sense here that, you know, there has been an oppression as such, and there has been discrimination, and there has been, the rights weren't equal in that sense. So how long does it take to sort that issue out?
I really hope it can be sorted out soon, because people like Gyan Raj, he's a wonderful man who's served this country with great distinction. He was a warrant officer in the Gurkha Rifles and served and retired before 1997, and he's a well-known local figure in Reading, as you've hinted at. And so many of retired soldiers like him face the same problems, that they have a tiny pension compared with their British counterparts, and that's a historical injustice, as you say, and it goes back to the 1947 agreement, where the pay of Gurkha soldiers in the British Army was lower than those of British soldiers in the British Army, and unfortunately that wasn't dealt with at an earlier stage, and he has campaigned very bravely for a long period of time on this difficult issue, and I've been proud to be able to support him, and I hope that there'll be some shift from the government. I mean, it's something, when we get back, Parliament's back on the 5th of September, and it's something which I want to come back to again in the autumn. There have been talks in recent times going on from the latter part of last year into January, intermittent talks between the Nepalese government and the British government about this. And I do hope they're getting nearer to a solution for it, because there are still thousands of veterans who are being discriminated against quite unfairly. And unlike other soldiers who are in the British Army at the same time, they're not getting the same pension. But it is, like all pensions issues, it is massively complicated. And Gyan Raj and his colleagues do deserve to have much better pensions and a fairer treatment. In terms of my help, I first started helping in, I think, about 2013 or 2014, when I was...
that was when Joanna Lumley was involved as well, wasn't it?
It was a bit after that, actually. She might have still been involved in it. But certainly to local level, people on Reading Council, a number of councillors have helped and tried to add their weight to the campaign, and I certainly have done that. And on and off since then, I've been raising it. The most recent thing that I did was in December of last year. We set up a meeting with the Shadow Defence Secretary, and it's obviously quite difficult to get in the diaries of senior leading figures, and John Healy was really interested in the situation and was briefed by Gyan Raj about it, and we followed up. I've been contacting the then, it's changed now because of the shake-up in Boris's government, but at the time Leo, I forget his surname, but the MP for Aldershot was the minister responsible, and I've talked to him a number of times about how the negotiations are going on, and I've pressed him to try and speed them up, and I've carried out other activities over the years to try and support the rights.
Appreciate your help, obviously, from the
I'd
Nepalese
like to be able to do more, actually. We just have a lot of other pensions issues which we are trying to address as well.
What you've said is the pension is complex, or the pension, working of the pension is complex. What does that mean? And should it take 25 years to sort out that complexity? And how long would it take, or should it take for them? Because we've established that there has been an injustice, right? Everyone knows that there has been an injustice. There has been discrimination. We know there was a 1947 Act that has been breached. How long would it take to actually own up to a mistake?
It should have happened a long time ago, in my view, my personal opinion. It's just all pensions issues are complicated. They inevitably are, with different people being paid slightly different amounts, employer contributions being different terms of conditions at work. So all of that, unfortunately, applies in this case. But I really hope it can be resolved soon, and there can be a fair settlement for these wonderful men who served with such distinction and such honour, they do deserve to be treated much better. And as you say, it's those who retired before 1997 were treated differently.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to this treaty when what's now India and Pakistan became independent countries. There was a treaty between Britain and Nepal which agreed the continuing role of Gurkha soldiers in the British Army. And lots of these injustices go back to that time. And unfortunately, since then, it hasn't been tackled, and it should have been, in my opinion.
Is it safe to say that if Labour was in government, that this issue would have been resolved by now?
I mean, I would hope so, but I can't make a detailed spending commitment about it because it relates to the overall approach of a Labour government.
Would you do everything in your power?
I certainly would, yes, I certainly would. And I'm keen to do that now in opposition. And I think it's important that we're able to work on a cross-party basis on this and get this